Good day to you and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to probably run over a couple of days because hi Peanut, hi. Should we try that again? Yeah? Or are you going to do the introduction? No? You let me finish? Okay. Oh, and Eric's going to say hi. Hi. Okay, that's enough. As I was trying to explain before I was rudely interrupted, today's video is probably going to run over actually several days in real time because I am off work for a week for the moment and I've just got lots of bits and bobs of jobs that I want to get done in the garden, so that's what I'm going to be filming mainly. I went out to the shops today and I've come home with wood to build the final raised bed, which is for this area behind me, currently filled with pots of potatoes and fruit. That was unexpected. That is not what I went out for, but I popped in to visit my parents and my dad just kind of happened to have some available, so yeah, I brought it home immediately. So we'll be figuring that out. Obviously I need to finish the greenhouse and that is the main priority for this week. I also have something exciting which I'm going to attempt. It's not exciting. I'm excited, but in the grand scheme of things it's not all that exciting. I'm going to attempt to build a climbing wall for cucumbers over in the pig pen. I got some garden mesh. I bought it from B&M. In fact, let me show it to you. Okay, it's this stuff. Green plastic, 50cm square holes in a roll. This roll is 5 meters by half a meter. I bought it from B&M, not because I think I have no idea whether or not it was a good price. They just had it and I've needed some for a while, so I just grabbed it because I saw it. But yeah, I'm going to staple this to the fence and then grow some cucumbers and hopefully the last of the sweet peas up it. And I might do that first, so yeah, you can follow along. See what happens next. I'm really pleased with that. It might be too late to save those sweet peas. They should have been in the ground like a month ago. But you never know, they might come back. So I've left them in. I haven't cut them back, which I would normally. I've used the trailing ends of the vines and wrapped it round the mesh a little bit to encourage the plant to climb up. So we'll see what happens. Also paying very close attention to my poppy seed heads, because I have done nothing but fight with poppy seedlings in this allotment this year. So every time I see a poppy seed head, I am just cutting it straight off and putting it in the compost heap. So I've just had a massive sulk about once again not being able to make any meaningful progress putting together my greenhouse or whatsoever. I have called my dad. He didn't answer, probably unsurprisingly. And so now I'm over my sulk and I am just going to get on with other things that I can do in the garden. The first one is planting out some companion plants. I bought another really big tray, actually, of marigolds when I was at B&M. They were £3.50. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 20, 40, 40, 20, 20. Yes. 20. Marigolds in there for £3.50, which is a bargain. The ones in the bedding, I've got more because the ones that are already planted around are looking so stunning right now that I just want to fill my garden with marigolds. So I'm going to use these to complete having them all around the edge of all of the beds. I'll just show you what I mean by that. Look, they just look so gorgeous. And at the same time, I also bought a tray of, these are dwarf stocks. There are far too many in here. I do not have space for 20. But I'm going to try. These will go in the cut flower bed mainly, and then any extras that I have will go wherever I can fit them. So that is going to be the next job to help me feel better about my DIY greenhouse abject failure. Also, it is roasting hot today. I don't know where this temperature has come from. It's been quite cold recently. The last couple of days have been overcast and trying to rain. It poured with rain this morning, and now I don't know what the temperature is, but it feels about 25 degrees. So this is going to be a short gardening session before I turn into a beetroot. So these plugs are a bit dry, and I should have watered them or given them a soak before I started to plant them. So instead, I just have a little bucket of water here, and I'm just chucking the plugs straight into the water to kind of maximum hydration. And I don't know what it is, the little herb bed down the side is disproportionately the weediest part of my garden in comparison to anything else, and I don't know why. So I've just taken a massive pile of weeds out of that, and I'm thinking what I can do to try and suppress the ground. And I think probably what I'm going to do is plant some cosmos in it, because the cosmos will grow giant. I have loads of them, more than I know where to put right now, so cosmos is the answer. But back to marigolds. So even after just a couple of seconds, they're really, really well soaked. And I am just planting them around the edge, about a length of the horary knife pot. And it's as simple as that. Another thing I would often do with planting plugs like this, and you've seen me do this before, would be to pinch out any flower heads to encourage good root growth and a stronger plant. But because I'm putting these in to be joyful and look beautiful, I am actually keeping them on this time. So we'll find out whether or not that was a good idea later. The soil here in the raspberry bed, the level has dropped dramatically, so I'm just going to top it up with some ordinary compost before I plant any more marigolds in here. That's better. Next up, I want to plant some of the dwarf stocks and the, let me weep them, snapdragons, which I sowed from seed earlier in the year. But in order to make space for those, I need to get rid of this, which definitely isn't the zabina that I sowed, and is, according to Google, something called a common fraternity, I think it was. I'll write it below. It is a member of the poppy family, and definitely not something that I grow intentionally, so this has got to come out. But what I do have are some self-seeded cornflowers, and I want these to stay, so I just need to be a bit careful while I try and grab this out. Also, somewhere in here, I've planted a unlabeled squash, which I also don't want to lose. So I hope that what I'm pulling out is the right thing. It's all tangled up in with the sweet peas. It's a mess. I should have identified it sooner and got rid of it, but sometimes having something is better than nothing, especially in this bed, which my cats enjoy using as a toilet. So now that I've pulled all of that foliage away, there is so much insect activity going on. So I probably did get bitten by an ant, or a ladybird, or a spider, or a woodlouse, or a whole bunch of stuff I don't even know what they are. Whilst I give all of the insects over there a moment to go and scurry around and protect themselves again, mainly just to save myself from being bitten, these sweet peas, which I planted up against this obelisk ages ago, are really struggling because they don't have anything to climb up. They were kind of being supported by all of that volunteer thing I've just taken out. So I'm going to see if I can use this leftover bit of the garden mesh to kind of fashion them a climbing frame. So I think it should go something a bit like that. And I'll need, I've got a whole other roll of this, so I can do some more going up. So, twisty wire, which is the same wire I used to put the climbing mesh on the garden arch as well. I'm hoping doing this will be an awful lot easier than that project was to do. Yeah, easy. Ta-da! Totally should have done that at the beginning of the year, but never mind. Okay, where was I? I don't know if you can see me anymore, because I have lost my position marker for faffing around. But back to the job in hand, which is planting out some of these flowers for the cut flower garden. Now, spacing. I am running out in this bed. If I had planned this at the beginning of the year, I would have made a 25 centimetre by 25 centimetre grid pattern all the way over this bed and planted one thing either in the middle of a square or on each edge, because by and large most things, when you plant things like snapdragons and dwarf stocks, need to be about 6 inches apart up to 30 centimetres, which is 12 inches. So creating a 25 centimetre grid pattern gives you good spacing in all directions, and the exceptions to that approximately 25 centimetres, between 6 inches and 25 centimetres rule, is bigger plants like the dahlia and the cosmos, where they need 50 centimetres different distancing in all directions. So that's why I would have gone for 25 centimetres square. But I didn't do that because I thought winging it would be fine. And now here we are, and I've got to retrofit it. I've already planted 2. I thought there was supposed to be 3 cosmos that I'd already planted in this bed. So I've potentially lost one. Either way, I'm going to start from the dahlia, where I'm going to do 25 centimetres from the centre of that plant, and I'm going to pop my first rug plant there, and then I'm going to carry on from that point. So actually 2 here. And I am going to just space them out all over the place first and then make sure it works before I start planting in the ground. And I'm just going to alternate between stocks and snapdragons until I run out of plants or run out of space. And this is what I've come up with. Some of the spacing is still a bit close, but sorry Eric, did we disturb you? I think it's okay. So now I'll start planting those in and getting them watered up. And then I will be going in for a drink because it is Scorchio. So I've just cleared this great big space by harvesting a giant cabbage that had been there since the autumn. And in the long term, this bed is going to be the raspberry bed. Ooh, I think that might be a ripe raspberry. Oh, not quite, but nearly. It's exciting. But anyway, these are going to take a bit of time to establish, so I'm going to make use of this space and repurpose it for some of the millions of things in the greenhouse that are looking for a home right now. So just think about what kind of arrangement we can make. I've got a big aubergine. This was a grafted variety called Scorpio. So I'm going to put that in that big space there. I've got no idea how big that's going to grow. So I'm going to hope that I can also fit in one of the tomatoes. This is a Roma tomato, or it could be a different type of tomato. It's from my saved seed that got mixed up. Either way, it's going to be a bush tomato, so it's going to need some room. It's possibly a bit close to the artichoke, but again, as this is going to take a bit of time to establish, I'm not too worried right now. And then I've got some herbs. These dill desperately need to be planted, and these coriander need to be pricked out, and I'm just going to put them straight out into the bed. See what happens. Hello, I'm taking a break from the sun to hide in the shed for a bit to get some shade, and I'm using this as an opportunity to remind you of two things. First thing is, my hat might not be the most attractive thing, but it is saving me from the UV rays, and as gardeners spending time in the garden, sun protection is really important. So if you are out in the garden, don't forget to wear a hat, wear sunscreen, look after yourself. I'm aware of far too many gardeners who have had to face melanoma over the years and a variety of different struggles. So yeah, it is definitely something to be taken seriously. And the second thing, a little bit more fun thing, is to remind you to check in on your houseplants if you haven't recently. I know that some of mine have been seriously neglected since all of my attention has been outside in the allotment. So I've got with me, this is a snake plant that has parted company with its pot. It's got a bit too top heavy and just falls over all the time. And then this is a Chinese money plant, commonly referred to, or pilea peperomioides, I think is its official name. I'm not even going to attempt the official name of this one. I will put it in the notes below. This one I got is a teeny tiny plant. see how it's got babies in it? I think when I got this one, it was this big. Just this tiny little plant. In fact, it wasn't even as big as that. And it has grown. It has had many pups. I've got 6 or 7 more of these propagated from the same plant, and that's just from repotting the pups. But it's gotten, again, really heavy. Its stem's really bended. It needs some support. It needs a good feed. And I'm going to repot these pups on as well. So I'm going to use exactly the same potting mix that I mix for everything. So a bit of compost, a bit of perlite, a bit of slow release fertilizer of some kind. I just need to find some suitable pots and a stake. And that will be done. I will show you the finished result in a minute. Just going to show you what these pups look like. You see how they're just growing separate plants, and I call them pups, I think that's the right term. So they just grow from the main root. The snake plant does the same thing. This was actually a pup of the original plant. I've got several of these over the years. So I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pups growing off of Mummy Money Tree today. So they will accompany the... Oh, and I've got a teeny tiny... You see, can I get it? There you go. Another teeny weeny one. We'll have to be very careful of that one so that it doesn't get destroyed, and then they can go and join the rest of the family. I think you can propagate these in other ways, like the snake plants. You can leaf propagate. You can see I've had a go at doing that there, unsuccessfully, I might add. So I don't tend to bother. I just wait for the main plant to pop up several pups like this one, and then I just pull them out, tease them out, repot them. And then I make new ones. I have in total about 52 different houseplants. Not different varieties, individual plants, multiple varieties. The standard ones that you will probably all have as well: spider plants, money trees, monstera, zabina, rubber trees, fiddle figs. So if you would ever be interested in a tour of my houseplant collection, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll arrange that for you, probably in the winter time or something to do when there's not much gardening happening. But yeah, I'd be delighted to share with you more on what I have and how I look after them and how I've propagated from them. If you'd find it interesting, let me know. These are all the pups organised in size order, and they all came off Mummy Money Plant really easily. But you'll notice these 3 small ones don't have any roots of their own. That one's just started to get a few. This one doesn't really have any. Whereas these 2 bigger ones have started to create their own roots. And this particularly big one has even got quite a long tap root. So, whilst I could pot all of these up now and they would eventually grow roots, I'm only going to pot these 2, and then I will water propagate these 3 until I see some established roots, and then I will pot them up individually. Meanwhile, Mummy Monstera is looking very happy in her new home. I have, the sun's quite high contrast, but I've given her a stake to try and help take some of the weight. And whilst, even though the roots are actually quite shallow, this is quite a big pot, again, just to have a counterweight so she doesn't end up top heavy and falling over. The greenhouse is assembled. The last piece has been put in its rightful place, and I think it's actually kind of square, which is good. So what I should do is figure out how to put the glass in it. What I'm actually going to go and do is go to the pub and have a pint in celebration. So thank you very much for watching this week's video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Please remember to let me know what you've been up to in your gardens this week, and I will see you next time.